Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the IRWIN. This is their part number 1966893. This is a 14-piece set of Forstner bits. Forstner bits are a cutting tool that I have in my shop, and I don't use them often, and it's because the work that I'm doing doesn't often require a flat end bottom, but quite occasionally they're really nice to have. And this video is literally just showing you this case of Forstner bits. I can see now that we have it a bit upside down. Okay. You can study the sizes. You can see from the left there's 2 1/4 inch, a 3/8, a half, a 5/8, a 3/4, a 7/8, a 1, inch and an 1/8, inch and a 1/4, inch and 3/8, inch and a half, inch and 5/8, and 2 inch. The only time that this material is not going to work is when you're prepping for something that requires a metric size, obviously. So where I end up using Forstner bits would be in the preparation of a piece of hardware that needs to sit down on top of something, and it might be a 2-step operation. Actually, let me grab a hinge and I'll just show it to you. So sauce hinges are very typical for this type of application, or what come to mind when I think of Forstner bits or concealed hinges like this. The problem with Forstner bits is you have to control, not the problem, but you have to control the depth, how far down you're drilling, otherwise it's really no good. And that, to me, limits their effectiveness. So, or at least complicates it to the point where you need to be mindful of how deep you're drilling, because that's, you know, the diameter of the bit and the depth, those are critical dimensions. So I would be mindful of that. But in this sort of application, the plastic is new for sauce. That's good. So here's your prep. I might be very tempted to use a Forstner bit right here, then chisel across. If I was going to do these by hand, you certainly could use your Forstner bit and make a series of cuts to the specified depth and just clean that off with your chisel. Obviously a router is going to be a superior way to do this, but that could be an example of where I might use a Forstner bit to give me that beautiful clean cut right there to the prescribed depth. You're obviously going to want to control that depth. If you're drilling something into work that you are going to be using a drill press, you can control the depth with that very easily. But this hinge might be an example of where you could end up very potentially seeing Forstner bit work. Now, the only time that I personally use Forstner bits is when it makes the job of prepping for door hardware in a wood door easier, and that's where I see it. I don't use Forstner bits for drilling for locks or some through hole. Not that you can't, but I find the feed rate of Forstner bits to be quite slow, and it's because the nature of the Forstner bit is such to give you a clean bottom sort of preparation, is really what that is. And as a result, when you're drilling through something, you're really cutting all of the material. If I was going to drill through something, I would probably use a cutter that would move faster, such as a fly bit, butterfly bit, spade bit, whatever term you want to use, or a hole saw. You know, those kinds of things work well, but when you're removing that much material at once, the feed rate is going to be quite slow. The beauty of the Forstner bit is the extremely clean cut around the circumference of the bit, and that's where you use these. The shank looks like it's 3/8 all the way around on everything. Marples, this is a name. I don't know the history of the name Marples in the sense that I believe Marples was or is a manufacturer of high-quality steel used in cutting applications in England, and having a set of 14 of these may not be something that you can justify buying all of them, but when if you end up needing 3 or 4 of these sizes, you never know. It's awfully nice to have that one size that you may not have. Other than sauce, it would be hinges by Tectus or non-North American or companies material that you might need metric, so be mindful of that. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can get to the IRWIN catalog. Admittedly, it's an extremely outdated catalog. They simply haven't produced one in many years, and much of what's in it is discontinued. I really wish they would produce a current catalog. You know, you can walk into any big box store, you can go online and find IRWIN everywhere. It's a name synonymous with very good quality tools. And speaking of that, I'm partial to IRWIN, and it's not only because I'm a distributor, but it's because I use the products personally, and I can attest to the high performance of much of the product line. Any questions on the IRWIN? This is their part number 1966893, set of 14 Forstner bits in imperial sizes, or any other IRWIN product. Please feel free to reach out to us, and thank you very much. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. And before we wrap this video up, let's take a look at some photographs that we have. There's the kit and its packaging, showing you the part number, teeth designed for clean holes. Yeah, there's your case, there's your bits. This is really like a multi-spur bit in the sense that this heavily raked tooth design around the perimeter, but the inherent difference with that design is that there's basic parity between where these teeth are and those flat cutters on the bottom of it. And while I don't have an extremely clean photograph of it, what I'm saying is the height of this tooth and the flat cutter is even. It's flush. This is not cutting deeper than this. You'll have your little point down there, your self-centering point, but it will produce a clean, flat-bottomed hole with only this indication that you've used a Forstner bit. Yeah, you really can't see at the angle, but this is all flat, is what I'm really driving at. That's what produces that clean hole. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.